So the purpose of creation is to create a dwelling place for Hashem in this physical world. So beautiful, amazing. So this a little bit. So Gavu the Rambam, even according to the Rambam, regarding the wonders that Moshiach is going to do, and also according to the words of the Ramban. Regarding the days, going back to the days before the sin of the Eitzadas, the miracles that will be in the days of Moshiach will not change the world, change the nature of the world. Like the miracles of Techiyas HaMeisim, that the water turned into blood, and the rock into a flow of water. They're going to be miracles that are going to be enclosed in natural explanations. Yeah, the Rambam and the Ramban, they both explain the concept of Chaim Nitzchim, everlasting life, in a natural way. And also the Gerzev and Keves, the Rambam explains in a natural way. V'Yisraelim is even more than this. L'divrei Ramban, according to the Ramban canal, in Yanim Elu Einam Chidush Amiti, they're not a true novelty. Elu b'sach hakel chazar l'matzav ha'mekoyri shel atava habriya melechatchila kodem hachit. Right? So the Ramban says that nothing's new. It's just, at least we're going back to the situation that was the source, right? The natural creation from before the sin. That's how nature was supposed to be. Nature was supposed to be whatever it was when God created the world. And then because of the sin, so there was I guess you would say a change in nature. And now in Yemos HaMoshiach, we're going back to what it was before. And at the end of the day, we're talking about the same world, the way we recognize it. With all the laws of nature, of planting and growing, eating and drinking, summer and winter, day and night, all those things will stay. Those pretty much generally will remain the same. It's going to be a world that is only good. There's going to be no form of evil and bad and loss. And we can equate to the words of the Rambam that it says that do not let it come up to your heart that in the days of Mashiach there will be a nullification of the order of the world, or there will be some novelty in the creation of the world. The miracles that we spoke about, even though they might be considered like a change in the order of the world, the natural order, even then they still cannot be considered as a novelty in the creation of the world. The Adrabe, on the contrary, according to the Ramban, this is the source of the Ma'aseh. So even if something seemingly is a change to the natural order the way we see it now, it's for sure not a chidush in Ma'aseh. It's not a novelty in Ma'aseh, because this is how the world was created, for this. This is how the world was created to begin with. In the Chassidus Chabad, there's something deeper that is explained. It's going in the future. It's going to be a change that is so fundamental and so essential. There will be it won't be called olam anymore. Which is seemingly a level of novel, a chiddush. It's novel to the creation of the world. If the Ramban is saying that the Yemos HaMoshiach returns the world to a situation the way it was before the sin, Techiyas HaChassidus is turning the world to a matziv, to the situation, the way it was before the creation, where there was only Hashem. Kaman will explain it. Okay. In Tanya chapter 36 explains purpose of creation is not only that there should be a revelation of Hashem's kingship in the world, Hashem himself will be revealed in the world in his entire essence. Like someone who lives in his own house, in his own personal house. That Hashem had a desire to dwell in this world, in tachtonim, in the lower realms. So the simple difference between revelation of Hashem's kingship in the world and dira, a dwelling place for Hashem in this world. And we say that when we're going to reveal Hashem's kingship in the world, right? We compare this to a king that is sitting in his chambers, in his palace, separated from the nation. Only his name and his rulership is spread out through all the kingdoms. Similarly in the Nimshal, that Hashem's main dwelling is in the heavens above, and in the world is only going to be revealed his kingship. That everybody recognizes his rulership in the world, and everybody subjugates themselves to him, before him. This is possible even now by every single Jew, every single person, every single Jew. When a Jew says Shema Yisrael, he's accepting upon himself the yoke of heaven, even though Hashem never revealed himself to him. Similarly, it can be when Moshiach comes in the Asulavi. The entire world is going to serve Hashem, serve God, without Hashem actually having to reveal himself in the world. Like it's understood from the description of the Rambam. That then the world is going, he writes that the world is going to be behaving normally. That this definition includes the fact that Hashem is going to stay in the state that has been until now concealed a little bit, the way it is now. But when we say that Hashem is going to have a dwelling place, what do we say the mashal is? What do we compare it to? We compare it to a person that lives in his personal house. That he himself in his entire essence lives in this dwelling, in this house, and the entire dwelling, the entire house is filled with basically everything about him. This entire world becomes a dwelling for Hashem. That Hashem himself dwells in this world. In his personal things. That this is something we do not have an example nowadays, at this time. This is a real change in the entire existence of the world. What's the lashon? What does the Alter Rebbe say over there? Light, the infinite light of Hashem shines in the dark place of the physical world. The Yeser CS, the Yeser Oiz, the Yeser Emir Lachoshech, Maharasim, Be'olam Ezel Yonim Shemer Sham, Al Yedei Tzimtzumim, Veheser Panim, Hamstirim, Malim, Erin Sev Baruch Shloi Batim Matzias. That is going to be even greater and even stronger, and the more light than darkness the way it is in the higher realms, the higher worlds, that over there it's only through tzimtzumim, through all of these different things. Hashem gives the power to tzaddikim to receive the reward. That they would not be completely nullified. Their existence will not be completely nullified in front of by the light of Hashem that will be revealed without any clothing, meaning there's going to be nothing separating between it, no diluted. That it will not be concealed with clothing. And your eyes will see. Beautiful. Wow. So let's get a little more explanation. What is the implication? What is the meaning behind the revelation of Hashem's light without blishim levush, without any clothing? What does that mean? So Abirim. What does the Techiyas HaMeisim say? The truth is, right? We know it's not a separate entity from Hashem. Like the Rambam says, anybody that is found between the heavens and the earth, they're only here because of the true existence, which is obviously Hashem. Like the Baal Shem Tov explains, that is brought in the beginning of Shar HaYichud VeAmun of the Alter Rebbe, that the word of Hashem creates in every single moment everything that is found, all existence. If Chas v'Shalom the Eibusher would cease, would remove for even one moment, how you call on him, everything that is found, everything that exists would return to nothingness immediately. And according to these things, Chassidus explains the great foundation to the nullification of the worlds in front of with regards to Dvar Havai, the word of Hashem that creates them. Right? According to the words and the truth, every single person that understands properly will understand how every single creation and every single existence, in truth, is considered like nothing. Compared to the Koyach HaPoel, the Ruach Piv Shebinifal. So, in comparison, in contrast to the power of creation, every creation is considered like nothing. If it was given permission for eye to see, lahasig, and to understand and to grasp the vitality, the power, and the spirituality of every single creation that gets from the word of Hashem and the spirit and the wind from His mouth. Physicality and creation and anything tangible we won't matter. We won't see it at all in our eyes. Because completely nullified in existence to its power, to its life, and to its spirituality. And therefore, in truth, there's nothing besides for Hashem, nothing outside of it. Hashem wanted to conceal Himself, that it shouldn't be recognized in the world His true existence. And He gave the world the feeling that it's something separate, that it has its own existence, its own lastingness, with that, not outside of the word of Hashem that creates it. That's why it's called Olam. Based on the Helam Hester, the concealment of the Creator to the creations. What's the simple explanation, simple meaning to this concealment? Kanal, like we said before, Hashem wanted to be a king, to rule. This is only possible in a case where the world is felt as something by itself. Then you could say that Hashem is ruling over me. Right? If you're not something separate, then you can't be ruling over. Like a king that rules over a nation. The king is himself. And then there's the nation. But the only thing is that they're subjugated to the king. The world feels themselves like their own existence, but they subjugate themselves in front of Hashem. So in this situation, the fulfillment of the commandments of Hashem has to be as a decree from the king. So, and the completion, the perfection of that is in the days of Moshiach, when the fulfillment of all the mitzvahs of Torah will be possible, and all the 7 mitzvahs, and that is when Hashem will be king over all the lands. Now, like we explained. However, so what's the deeper purpose? Through fulfilling mitzvahs at this time, in the days of Mashiach, as a servant, so the world will be refined, and will be getting got ready to a situation, to a point where there will be a revelation of Hashem in this world in all its glory. And then will be revealed the truth of the world is Hashem. The truth is that there's only Hashem by himself. And the world itself is not existence on itself. That just like today, the world itself naturally feels itself as an existence. What is going to be the natural feeling, the feeling of every single person, is going to be that we have nothing on ourselves besides for Hashem, which is a true existence. So therefore the world is not going to be called Olam at all. Why? Because what do we say Olam? Why is it called Olam? Because of the Helam, because of the concealment. Olam comes from the word concealment. And being that there's going to be no concealment, so it's no longer going to need to be called Olam. It's going to be called Elokus, which is godliness, klaimar, meaning to say, it's not only also an outside facade and something that is external. It's going to be internal. That's why the relationship between Hashem and the world is compared to the relationship between a person and his dwelling place and his house. That the world is going to be a dwelling that is filled with the prefix, I think, is the word of the dweller, the person that lives in the house. In the words of the Rebbe, this is going to be a second time period, a second part 2 of Yemos HaMoshiach. Which is after the first tkufa, the first part that the Rambam speaks about in Hilchos Melech HaMoshiach. That we said that the first part is going to be the fulfillment of mitzvahs perfectly in a world that is regular. A regular world, without changing the laws of nature. That through fulfilling mitzvahs in the first part, will reach a second part that will be a general change in the existence of the world. Will begin with the famous change, the biggest change of Techiyas HaMeisim, which is literal opposite of nature. And the main thing is, like we said before, the world will cease to feel itself as its own existence outside, separate from Hashem. And the true godly feeling will be revealed that Hashem is the only existence to itself. And in the same light, we can possibly define these two things. The revelation of Hashem's kingship in the first part, and dwelling place for Hashem in the second part. Like the will of the supernal will and the supernal desire, pleasure. So let's, by way of parable, a person wants to get something that he will have pleasure in it. So the pleasure is considered something internal and something from will. What's Hashem's will? What's the supernal will? It's the revelation of Hashem's kingship in the first part of Yemos HaMoshiach. And that is as a vehicle to get that through it you will reach the second part. But and that is when it's going to be fully realized, the dwelling place for Hashem. And that is the pleasure, and that is the internal goal of Hashem. All right. If we so another place that Rebbe adds, and he goes in detail. All of creation, including the nations of the world, is an existence that was created from Hashem. Hashem created from nothing to something in 10 sayings. And the Rambam says, all the creations, everything that is found between heaven and earth, is from the true existence. Al Yisrael, Neshamas Yisrael Nemar, so and on the Jews, it says even greater than this, Yisrael that Hashem and the Yidden are all one. So according to this, when it's going to be revealed that Hashem, that the truth of the world is Hashem, giluy, a revelation of the oneness of Hashem in the world, and it's going to be complete and perfected. It's going to be felt in all the creation, that includes the nations of the world. How their only existence is the true existence, which is Hashem. And Hashem already said that there's nothing found. There's nothing able to be exist. Nothing else can exist. That they will feel that they are not a true existence. By the Yidden, it will be revealed that their Metzius themselves, the existence of a Jew, is from Atzmus. That Hashem and the Yidden are all one. In every place in the Torah of the Rebbe, we explain what's the inyan of Moshiach? What's the concept of Moshiach? Moshiach is the general Yechidah, which is the highest level in the souls of the Yidden. This level of Yechidah, with all its advantages and all its amazing things with regards to the cleaving of Hashem, still it is defined as a level that is outside of Hashem. And according to what we're saying over here, the Rebbe adds and he explains that we should add and we should fix, we should correct. The true inyan of Moshiach. It's not only being this level of Yechidah HaKlal, it's the general Yechidah of the Yidden, of the Jews, that it is the same, it is one and the same with Atzmus Ein Sof, the infinite Atzmus, essence of Hashem, and through it, it will be revealed in every single Jew, that their existence itself is Kaviyachal, the essence of Hashem. And here, it's a Chassidic edition. The Rebbe shows how this idea how this itself is found in Rambam. In the last halacha, at the end of his sefer, the Rambam describes the matzav v'yidas Hashem. What does that mean? In that time, there will not be any other work rather than to only serve Hashem. That the world will be filled with the knowledge of Hashem, like the waters in the ocean conceal. Cover. What is the Rebbe's explanation? This is only as a continuation of the thing that we were speaking about in the halachas before it. Sorry, it's not only as a continuation, as an explanation. Rather, it's something new. And the Rambam is describing the second part, the second shlav of Yemos HaMoshiach. So the Rambam is seemingly using very simple words. That seemingly is trying to explain the words that he said before. And that is also sounds similar to the halachas of tshuva that the Rambam speaks about in Yemos HaMoshiach. But when you give a second glance, you could see that the Rambam is speaking on that the nature is changing from the way of the world. This idea of knowledge of Hashem, it's not something that a person can reach through meditation, the way it is now. It's a situation where the world is filled with the knowledge of Hashem in a very, very defined way, without giving any place to anything else. That the entire essence, the creation of the world, is screaming out with a true existence. And in the way of Teres Chassidus, this matzav, this situation, is completing the intent, the supernal intent of having a dwelling place down here. So let's summarize the entire thing. I don't know if you have to go. Yeah. So Yeshnam Kama. So we'll end off with this. So Yeshnam Kama Yifanim Lahavnis Mahusam Shalom Moshiach. There are many ways to understand the essence of Yemos HaMoshiach. Which is going to be similar to the different ways of understanding the meaning behind the purpose of creation. So in Yonish HaMoshiach al pi Chachmas HaChakira. So what is the concept of Moshiach according to the Chachmas HaChakira? Rambam kosev shemizbainis b'metzius habriya. Oila shehi mechovenes l'shem masachas. Shehi be'olam adam ha'ideyas Hashem. So when you meditate on the existence of the creation, of the you'll see how there is only one intent, and that is that there should be a world where a person knows Hashem. That's the reason why the world is created. That's Tachas Abriya. In a similar vein, he explains that what is the meaning behind the Moshiach? The world will be in a situation of menucha, gashmis, physical calm, that will give the ability to a person to give himself over to the knowledge of Hashem. Since the true knowledge of Hashem is in the world of souls, according to the Rambam, it's olam haba. Lachein bistakos zu Yemos HaMoshiach rak imtzoi v'tachana b'derech l'shleimus ha'mitzvos ba'olam haba. So according to this perspective, Yemos HaMoshiach is only as a vehicle, as a middleman, to possibly get you to the true completion, which is olam haba. The way the Rambam explains it in Hilchos Tshuva. So now let's go to the halachic idea of Moshiach. In Shar HaYichid V'Amunah, the Alter Rebbe says that the purpose of creation is to reveal Hashem's kingship. That every single person that lives and dwells should fulfill the mitzvahs of Hashem. Tarik mitzvahs shel Yisrael, the 613 mitzvahs for the Yidden, or the 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach. So he describes, he explains what is the meaning of Yemos HaMoshiach according to this. It's a time where the kingship, the rulership of Hashem is revealed to every single person in its completion, its perfection. So this explanation fits with the words of the Rambam in the laws of Melech HaMoshiach. There, the Rambam describes Yemos HaMoshiach as a time of completion, the perfection of mitzvahs, and the correction of the world to serve Hashem. And now these two explanations, they are true and they do not contradict each other. According to the world and the person himself, he's striving for his personal perfection. That's why the Rambam writes that his perfection, his completion, is knowledge of Hashem. Since a person is requesting for his own personal gain, even from the coming of Mashiach, so he's trying to find something that he's personally going to gain. So the Rambam explains, so what is the true benefit of the person for Yemos HaMoshiach, for the days of Mashiach, from the coming of Mashiach, is that is the benefit, the advantage of the knowledge of Hashem that he's going to have in the days of Mashiach. Even behind this, through the days of Mashiach, is going to reach the true knowledge of Hashem, which is an olam haba. When we're talking about the intent of Hashem in creation, the purpose of creation is the revelation of Hashem's kingship. The way it's going to be perfected in Yemos HaMoshiach. What is the main thing of Moshiach? Is a king that is very, very exalted above David, and he's higher than the Hanagas of Teva, the way of nature. And Mashiach reveals the kingship of Hashem in the entire world. Like the description of Rambam in Pershah Mishnah. So we can connect this to the explanation in Chassidus that Mashiach is the level of Yechidah HaKlalis, the general Yechidah, which is higher than nature, and higher than David, which is the level of Nefesh HaKlalis, the general Nefesh. We can also connect this to the words Gam L'Divrei Ramban, the words of the Ramban, in the days of Mashiach, there will be a return of the world to the situation the way it was before the sin of the Eitz Hadas. There was no form, there was no evil. And in the connection of these two descriptions, we can say there is two levels in the coming of Mashiach. And it is dependent on the possibility of meritorious or not meritorious. And the laws of Melech HaMoshiach Al shleimus halachas haTorah la'azilavei, the Rambam comes to explain on the completion, the perfection of the laws of Torah la'azilavei in the time to come. And because of this, Rebbe Melech HaMoshiach, it's enough that there's a king like David HaMelech that behaves in a natural way, and therefore mistapik v'tir shel haloi zachu, and it's enough to describe the loy zachu period. But b'Pirush HaMishnah bolo daber al inyan shel Moshiach b'taras, he's coming to describe to you the inyan of Moshiach in its truth, in its purity. The fichach ga Hashem over there, who masbir es inyan ha'ekesh Moshiach, there he describes, he explains the true inyan of Moshiach, the main concept of Moshiach, the way it is when it's the way of meritorious, which is higher than David HaMelech. And what's the true inyan of Moshiach? So we have the main inyan of Moshiach, and what's the true inyan of Moshiach? That he is one thing with Atzmus Ein Sof. And through him it is revealed that every single Jew is one existence with Hashem, and anything that is found does not exist. All the existence does not exist, rather from the true existence. This is the physical realization of the supernal intent and of the Hashem's desire to have a dwelling place down here. That Hashem will live here and be revealed in his entire essence. The inyan will be realized in the second part, will materialize in the second part of Yemos HaMoshiach. There will be great changes in the existence of the world. Which begins with the famous change of Techiyas HaMeisim, and it will reach a foundational and general change, that the world will change from being a seeming existence separated from Hashem, to an existence where the word of Hashem is found revealed. And these things Rambam is hinted to in the last halacha, the last law of Rambam in the Sefer. The Rambam describes a situation, a time where the nature is going to be to know the knowledge of Hashem that is embracing everything. And for that, we will end today. I wish everybody a beautiful day and a beautiful all the brachos. L'chaim. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Don't forget the notification bell so you get notified whenever either I go live or like this week we also go live, sort of, even though it's pre-recorded. But very important to share your thoughts in the comments to me personally. If you would like to sponsor a shiur a day, you can let me know. levypolachenko@gmail.com. And I hope everybody has a beautiful day. Chaim, b'livracha.